First of all, welcome to everyone again. My name is Will Takewell. I'm the Associate Director for Student Leadership and Engagement here at the University of Mississippi. We're excited to have you all join us for Virtual Involvement Week 2020, specifically for this session about some of our sport clubs here at the University of Mississippi. So some quick housekeeping things before we get started. This will obviously work in a panel format. So we have some questions that we're going to ask of all the organizations who are here today, so our new students can learn a little bit more about each of your groups. Please make sure to mute yourself if you're not actively talking about your organization or actively talking to everybody on the call, just to avoid any awkwardness that could result, which also leads me to my next point. This video is being recorded, so we will upload this for any students who weren't able to make our session this afternoon. They'll be able to refer to it later on our website. Some other quick things for you all to know about. We want to make sure that everyone is aware that we have some active closed captioning and a transcription service that we're using through our Zoom account. If you want to take advantage of the feature, you can gain access to the live transcript by clicking on the arrow that is next to the live notes section on otter.ai at the top of your screen. If you click on that, it'll pull down an option for you to pull up a live stream of what we are talking about right now. I'm also going to go ahead and post right here in our chat a link as well in case anybody wants to utilize that feature. So panelists, we're gonna get ready to turn it over to you. We'll ask some questions of you all and you can respond, for the sake of time and just for the sake of getting to everybody in the session time that we have. Try to keep it succinct. We know we can talk about the things that we love a whole lot, and you all have some great things to share. So we wanna make sure we have plenty of time for that. And then students, if you have any questions as we're sort of going through the panel, feel free to drop them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask if we get to that point. So let's kick off with some introductions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to post our list of groups that registered beforehand for our sessions today. So if I left anybody off, I'm sorry, it's not intentional. Just let me know and we can add you to our list, but this will be the order that will go in for the session today. So let's get started with club baseball. Introductions, so your name, your position with the organization, and your classification and major.
Hey, I'm Nick Longhorn. I am the president of the club baseball team. Currently going to be an upcoming senior studying management info systems. And a big thing that we do for club baseball is we're providing a good way to keep playing competitive baseball past high school without like the full-time commitment of playing for a JUCO or a divisional baseball team. We really commit ourselves to having a fun, positive attitude, meeting new people, just having fun. Well, one of the big things we do is we have a baseball camp at FNC Park that teaches like people about 2 to 4 years old about the fundamentals of baseball. It's a big hit in the community. Everyone loves to do it. It's one of our favorite things that we do. Club baseball provides a good way to just stay active, meet new friends, continue playing. Because some people like myself, we don't want to be done playing baseball yet, but just looking for a way to stay committed to school but still having a good time. We practice most days of the week. We have games on weekends. We travel throughout the spring, so there's just a lot of baseball to go around. The cost of dues, it covers everything from uniforms, hotels, travel costs. Most members have played some form of competitive baseball. They're at high school. A good handful of our team do participate in Greek life. Other clubs on campus, it's not just once you're in this is the only thing you can do. You can kind of multitask. The team's headed in a really, really good direction. We've gotten better every single year on and off the field since we've been created almost 7 years ago. Each wave of new players and leadership has kind of built on the previous year's success. So we're always ready to just keep moving forward and getting better and better. Conference title is definitely within reach, and we've really committed ourselves to the university and the city to help strengthen our relationships between everybody. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you. All right, is Men's Club Ultimate here?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, everyone. I'm Stroud Tollison. I am one of the co-captains of the men's club ultimate team. We also have Alex here, our president, and Sean, our vice president.
Hello.
Yeah. So we're glad that y'all are here. A few things about us. One second, sorry. I'm Stroud. Like I said, I am a junior majoring in public policy, leadership, and economics. A few different things about our organization. Ultimate Frisbee, if you've never played it before, is a lot of fun. And that's really what our organization is based around, is getting everyone out to a sport that they probably haven't played before, and helping them to realize that it can both be a lot of fun, but also have structure and be competitive. And so that's really what we bring. When people hear, oh, you're on the Ultimate Frisbee Club, that's so fun. It's like, yeah, it is fun. We also travel, to other universities and play other university club sports and kind of take the sport to the next level and help introduce students to what the sport can be, the breadth of it, and how intense it really can be, but also in a fun team building atmosphere. And yeah, I just recommend that any student that wants something a little bit more competitive. A lot of our students have never played, or a lot of our players have never played Ultimate Frisbee before coming to Ole Miss, and we welcome that. We're big into teaching new students different things about the sport and getting them involved on a part of campus that they've never really thought about before. And so I'm an orientation leader this year, and so I definitely, with all my students, like, try a club sport if you're interested in any kind of thing competitive at all. Even if you didn't play sports in high school, it's a lot of fun. And so Ultimate's my way to participate in that personally. Alex, Sean, have anything to add?
I just want to echo everything Stroud said. And if you're not sure exactly what you want to do, I'd invite you to come out. We practice a few times a week, and we have all our information on our Instagram, and feel free to email the captains too on the forum and anything else. But thank you.
Yeah, and if you're not sure you want to like participate in tournaments or anything, then there's still Fall League in the fall. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, it's a great way to just kind of introduce yourself to the sport too. We practice in the fall as well and the spring, so those are all great fun options.
Thank you.
All right, men's club volleyball.
Hey guys, my name is Tobias Bogan, and I'm the president of the men's club volleyball team. I've been the president for the past 4 years. I will be a graduate student coming this fall, and I will still be serving the same role as the president. Our girls president isn't here, but I also vouch for them as well. But to tell you a little bit about our club, we were founded in 2016. I founded the club, so I'm still with it. Our goal is to grow the sport of volleyball, not just men's volleyball, but volleyball as well in the state of Mississippi, because there isn't a lot of volleyball here. So we like to try to get as many people as we can involved in volleyball. And with our volleyball team, we just create, lifelong lasting friendships and relationships with all the guys that are on our team. We travel a pretty good amount. We go to a couple tournaments each semester. We've been to all schools in the SEC, a few other schools. We've been to St. Louis for nationals, and we've been to Denver, Colorado for nationals, where we placed 18 out of 50 teams. So that's pretty good for a Mississippi team to do that good, going up against like bigger schools and stuff. But yeah, that's a little bit about us, and that's all I got to say.
Awesome, thank you. How about rugby club? All right, and then women's club volleyball, they're not here. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, but I can speak on them if you want me to.
Go for it, yeah.
So the president of the women's club volleyball team, her name is Jillian McGann. She will be a junior this year, and the vice president is Lindsay Martin, and she will also be a junior. And they're basically the same as us. They're just girls. We usually try to pick the same tournaments to go to, but sometimes our schedule's a little bit rough. They go to nationals as well with us. They've been to just about the same schools. Our practice days are usually the same. We kind of overlap sometimes. We both practice in the tap pad. I think they maybe have like 20 plus members or whatever. Yeah, that's all I know about them there.
Awesome. All right. So then Special Olympics College.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Day, and I'm the president of Special Olympics. And Jared's on here, and he's the vice president. But I'm a speech pathology major, and our mission at Special Olympics Ole Miss is just to really try to connect the college students and individuals with special needs through sport and friendship. And it's just so much fun. We play flag football in the fall and basketball in the spring. And we get to have our own Special Olympics Egg Bowl. And it is the most fun thing you could be a part of. And it's really just a great way to spread awareness and promote acceptance of disabilities and individuals with special needs on campus. And we practice once a week. And it's just a great way to get out and get some exercise and just have a blast and meet new friends. Jared, do you have anything?
Play a little basketball, and just kind of have a good time with it, not take it super seriously. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of jokes that go on while we're playing. I know last year on our football team, practice on the other team's flags, we just ran around and pulled each other's flags during our timeout. It's a lot of fun. You definitely enjoy it, and it's a good thing that you can continue to do even when you leave the school.
Yes, and it's just a lot of fun. So follow our social media, SO College Ole Miss, and get plugged in because it's just a blast. And come join.
All right. So Sport Club Council.
Hey there, I'm Nick Longhorn again. I was the president of the club team, club baseball team, and I'm also part of the Sport Club Council. So the Sport Club Council is kind of the overseeing group that makes a lot of different decisions involving sport clubs, like providing additional funding, dealing out punishments, organizing meetings for members, and making changes to kind of the sport club handbook. So I'm joined here today by Alec Lazar. He is the vice president, and I'll have him say things in a little bit. We're here to encourage really everyone that's interested in any sport to just join that sport club, at least try it out, give it a chance. We've had a lot of great people so far here talk about some of the big sport clubs, but there's also so many other options that play either at a competitive level or just recreationally, like just for fun, just among ourselves. We have some great clubs top to bottom. We've all been greatly helped out by being on a sport club, all the people that are here, but there's also a huge number of members that aren't executives, aren't leaders, that just enjoy being on a team and get a lot of experience from that. The Sport Club Council itself is a great experience to really build your leadership role, learn how things work a lot behind the scenes, and do like that. So we're just kind of encouraging everyone to give it a try. Just do what you can. I'll pass it along to Alex to add anything else.
Yeah, I think Nick made a lot of good points. I'd like to emphasize that this is a really good leadership opportunity, especially for now incoming students. I know it's daunting to want to get involved at first, but joining a sport club organization, then looking into the sport club once you've gotten the hang of that is a really good way to be involved. And then we're also here to vouch for all the clubs that aren't part of this panel. There's a lot of smaller clubs like badminton, bass fishing, fly fishing. There's really everything you can think of. There's a way to participate in that at Ole Miss through the intramural program. And so definitely look into all those things, even if you don't see the name of the sport that you're interested on the list in this panel. But yeah, I'd encourage y'all to just know that when you're participating in the sport club program, the Sport Club Council is there to look out for y'all, and it's a good way to advance yourself as a student leader. That's all I got.
Awesome. All right. So how about women's ultimate? Okay. And did I miss anyone? Are there any other organizations that are here with us today?
I could speak on women's ultimate for a sec if they're
Okay.
not here. But women's ultimate does a lot of the same things men's ultimate does. They practice all at the same times, travel all the same places, really the exact mirror of the men's team. And we do a lot of things together. So the men's and the women's team are pretty involved. It's a good way to meet people. And then women's ultimate is also a big part of the intramural program that Sean touched on called Fall League. If you're not really sure you want to commit to being in a competitive sport, that travels, things like that, Fall League is a really good way to just once a week, just it's intramural Frisbee, really fun, really casual, good way to get involved. But yeah, and then women's team also has an Instagram and their stuff's on the forum if y'all want to reach out to them too.
Awesome. So we're going to ask some questions just to get a little bit more insight into the organization. So we'll go in the same order that we just did. So that'll stay the same and it won't change. But thinking about your organizations and thinking about your teams, why should a new student potentially join your organization, or how could they take advantage of some of the things that you do?
For club baseball, it's not like a student should really join our organization if they have had, experience playing baseball in the past. They want to, even if they haven't, if they want to get into baseball now, we provide a nice, fun level where we, help learn the best we can. But at the end of the day, we're just here to have a good time. We're here to have fun. We're here to keep playing the game that a lot of us have grown up with. So if, you're looking for a good way to meet a big group of people without joining Greek life, that could be a good option. Joining a sport club with a pretty big roster, that would be a great way to make a lot of new friends. Personally, I've made my past 3 roommates have all been members that I've met on the baseball team. So it's a good way to stay active also if you just want to, because everyone goes to college, you get the freshman 15, joining a sport club is a great way to try to prevent that, work on it there. So I think, and also every sport club provides similar opportunities in terms of making friends and having a good time. So that's what I would say.
Is it us now? Awesome. Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, and who was that? Nicholas. Yeah, you made a great point in just it being a great opportunity for students who might not feel comfortable getting involved in other places or things like that, because it's just a fun atmosphere, and there's in sports there's not a ton of talking while you're playing, obviously, so it's just a fun way to get active and get involved while you're sharing experiences with your players. But I think that at least for me, the ultimate team, and for I know a few other people, the ultimate team provided that. They provided camaraderie that students might not have felt other places, and just a really welcoming atmosphere. I personally am not in Greek life, and I know that Sean is also not, and it's a good way to meet some guys and have good friends and have good times with other people. And we've touched a couple times on Fall League. I definitely would. That's one of our best services. It can just be one night of the week for students to get out there for a couple hours and play ultimate, or it can be their introduction to the sport and be something that solidifies them in it for a long time. And we've seen that on both ends of the spectrum, but we really enjoy that resource. And then our practices, like I said, we love to teach people the sport and teach them to love it in the ways that we do. And in that we can get a little bit more competitive, maybe travel to other tournaments and things like that. But yeah, just a good atmosphere and a nice bit of competitiveness.
For us, I would say I think the biggest thing about our team is we have a lot of guys who aren't in fraternities, but we do have some guys who are in fraternities. But for those guys that aren't in fraternities, it kind of builds almost like a fraternity, brotherhood kind of thing within the team. So we're really close. We hang, even when we're not in practice, we hang out with each other. And then a lot of people, especially coming in freshman year, kind of not knowing, kind of hard to find themselves or whatever, and kind of where they belong or whatever. So being able to be that and helping people transition into being away from their family and their parents and stuff. And not even just like meeting people like within the club, but like meeting people at other schools. We have friends that play at other club teams like all over that, you know, come visit us and we go visit them and stuff. Like at nationals like 3 years ago, we met some people from Auburn and they invite us to come to Auburn all the time. And we just stay with them just from like playing volleyball with each other. And we just have a good time all the time. I mean, it's competitive, but also like we have a fun time during practice. We'll bring a speaker in there and we'll crank it all the way up and we'll just jam out and just have a good time while we're practicing and stuff. So it's just a really like welcoming environment.
So SO is really special in the way that we just get to have so much community with others whenever we're doing stuff. And it's just so much fun. We do get the chance to play Mississippi State and we go to Alabama. And it's just a lot of fun because you get to meet some people that you never would have met otherwise. And honestly, it is the most competitive sport I've ever played. I played all like 4 sports in high school, but SO has definitely been the most competitive, but the most fun. I've never laughed as hard as I could with some of these people because it's just a good time and it's serious, but it's so much fun at the same time. And it's just a special group of people from all different walks of their life. Some of our athletes are older, and so we get to kind of learn about them and kind of what their life has been like. And especially if you are interested in like speech or something, it's a great way to get some resources and learn about what it's like to work with people with special needs and really just bond and make the most amazing friendships with them. So it's just amazing, and it's a great way to get out of the house and just have a good laugh for at least an hour and run around and get a little bit of exercise. So it's just a lot of fun.
For sport club council is a reason that you should join is if you're interested in joining a sport club. It's a really great way to get a good foundation of all understanding all kind of the ins and outs of the way sport clubs work. Keeps you up to date on everything that's going to happen in terms of meetings, banquets, stuff like that. Being on the council gives you a really good stepping stone on a resume and can really leapfrog you into other roles of leadership in whatever organization you carry on into. And you kind of get a voice into how things are in the way that sport clubs operate. So if you're already a member of a sport club, it's a great thing to join. If you're an incoming freshman, it's a good thing to kind of look forward to do. So anything else Alec can add?
I think that covered it. Thank you.
All right. So another question for everyone here on the panel, what has sort of been the highlight of being on your sport club team, or how has it sort of enhanced your experience as a student at the University of Mississippi?
Club baseball has done a lot of different things that really enhance my experience here. I'd say some of the favorite things that we do are just the road trips that we go on. They're always a great time. You get to bond with your teammates. You get to experience a new city depending on where we travel. We play teams all around the area. So if you have a friend that goes to a different school and you guys are traveling to that school, it's a great way to meet them and see them and catch up after a long time. So it adds a lot, just making new friends, having a good time, keep playing baseball. So I'm good.
Frisbee is I mean, it's just a great time, like especially when we're going to tournaments. That's probably what's like been the best part of the, like, being a part of the club for me. It's a great way to be like competitive and active and you know, just have fun. Same with volley. I mean, you get to meet some people on campus and play a really fun sport.
For us, I would say it was probably going to nationals in Colorado. As you know, like I said earlier, we don't like volleyball isn't a big sport in Mississippi at all, especially not for guys. So a lot of our guys don't really come from playing volleyball. So like at the beginning of the year, we'll get guys and we'll just kind of like, I didn't play before I came, so I had to teach myself as well. But for a lot of our guys, we kind of just like have to start with the basics and just teach everybody. But to be able to go to nationals and play like over 500 teams there at nationals and have to go up against like these, these California schools and these Florida schools and these New York schools and stuff. And like, we're just being like their shortest guys, like 6'5", and our tallest guy is like 5'11", and it's like, how do we, joking, we don't really have, we're pretty tall, but it's like, how do we, compete with these guys? And then I think we just got there like one day and it just kind of, I don't know what happened. It just kind of clicked. And I think it just like made sense in everybody's head. I mean, we weren't a bad team, but it just made sense in everybody's head. And then we were able to like play together. And once we like found like that chemistry to where we needed to play, like we were winning games back to back. And then we ended up making it to the, the gold bracket. And sadly we got put out, but like just to be able to make it to the gold bracket, and that's our second time being at nationals, with a whole lot of, corn-fed country boys from Mississippi and like, 2 or 3 other guys who, touched volleyball before. Like, I think that was like probably like the best thing that ever happened to us, because it was like, wow, guys, we're actually like a pretty good team. And to have like, different schools like come to your court and watching your game, and was like, I didn't know Ole Miss had volleyball players. You can just hear them on the sidelines, like, okay, this team's scrappy. Like, what's going on? Like, I never thought Ole Miss would have a good volleyball team, and it's just stuff like that. It just makes us just want to keep going and keep getting more guys and keep the program up and running.
So I think one of my favorite parts of unified sports here is, like, I've played basketball my entire life. I played on 2 other intramural teams before the Special Olympics, and I noticed I look forward to the one day a week for an hour of Special Olympics, playing that over playing in a like a competitive league at the Turner Center or anything like that, because like just being able to play with people who didn't get the same opportunities I was able to growing up, where they didn't get to play on their high school teams or at college if they went, that can now play, and just seeing the smiles on their faces and seeing how much fun they have while playing it with you, just kind of puts your life into perspective, and it's a lot of fun. That's really the main thing for me, just being able to see everyone smile from the ages of like 8 to 40. Everyone mixes together really good, and it's just a whole lot of
Um, For the sport club council, at least, I think for new students, obviously you have to play a sport club for a year before you can be, or at least a semester before you become involved in the sport club council. But that shouldn't be discouraging. That should be motivating. After you've been involved for a little bit of time with the sport club team, you'll have better understanding of the program, and I really encourage you all to, at least for the spring, to apply to join the council. We're always looking for new motivated students that are willing to be leaders on campus, and it's just a really good way to get involved. A really good resume booster, like Nick said earlier, and then you learn some important skills like budgeting. You meet with other parts of campus that you might not ever interact with otherwise, and then you just get to see really how big and like diverse this program is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think sport clubs is the biggest student organization on campus, at least by numbers. There's just so many teams, and so the teams are so large, and just all sorts of people, and just a really good experience to be able to see campus in a new way like that.
All right, so before we turn it over for some questions from some of our students that are here, is there anything that y'all want to add as far as information that maybe we didn't cover yet? This is also a time we're noticing a lot of our student organizations like to plug their social media. But is there anything that you want to add to the conversation about your sport club teams?
Yeah, I have one quick thing for baseball. Like, I think a lot of sport clubs have this stigma that if you join it, then that's the only thing you can do. You have to be committed to it, go to every practice, go to every game. And at the end of the day, we're all students and we understand that. So when it comes to commitment levels, every team has those guys that come to every single event all year, which is kind of their favorites, of course. But then there's also those guys that can only play one semester of the year, guys that only make it to a handful of games, but still stay committed. And just every part of that is essential that every part of that is essential to making a team. So don't be scared if you're worried about not being committed enough or being, too invested in something. Like just go to your level and just make it work for you.
And I'll add for the Sport Club Council that there are over 30 teams. There's a full list online, but you can go dig through all that. And even if you didn't play a sport in high school or you didn't play something competitively or high school didn't have a sport, odds are anything you could possibly want to play or be competitive at, there's something here in the Sport Club program that you can get involved in. And then make sure to follow the Campus Rec Instagram. And then I'm also going to plug the Ultimate Frisbee Instagram in the chat. So hit us up on those.
For Special Olympics, we mostly talk to each other in a huge group chat. So I will put our Instagram in the bio or in the chat, and y'all can message us on there and ask more questions if you need, or ask us to add you to the group chat and get involved.
And another thing I would say is just like for the few you guys that are here, not even just for men's club volleyball, but probably all the other organizations as well. Like, talk to your friends about what you're doing, like say like, hey, because I mean, it's not a lot of y'all here right now. So like, you guys can like help spread the word. You guys can be like, hey, I'm signing up for, so-and-so. You should come to practice with me one day and let's just check it out and see. Because a lot of people aren't social media people and they don't see everything that you might see. And I think that's sometimes how we look over a lot of you guys, just because, y'all don't see what we post or whatever. And it's kind of hard to reach everybody. So like, if you're doing something, like just let your buddies and friends know that you meet that, you're kind of doing that. They might want to join you as well.
All right, so there are some questions that have kind of been coming through in the chat. But are there any other things that students are wondering about that they want to ask right now, just to get some more clarification on any of the sports club teams that are here? We also have Gabby here, who is actually the assistant director. Yeah, hey, Gabby. So, and actually, this is a great question for you. What's the difference between intramural sports and club sports?
I'd be happy to take that one. So with intramural sports, the easiest way to explain the difference is that intramural sports will only compete against students on our campus, and sport clubs will travel. Sport clubs also have practices, regular weekly practices, and they last throughout the year, versus intramural sports, which are seasonal. So we'll have, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks of softball for an intramural sport, versus if you play club baseball, you'll be playing all year round.
Awesome. So one good question, obviously the tryout days, that's a great question. But then another thing that I think some of our students might be wondering about too is, what does sort of like average membership dues look like for participating in some of these clubs or sport clubs?
Do you guys want me to take that one? Sport Club Council?
I just think it varies a lot between every sport, and it'd be hard to give like an exact answer for average across the 30 different teams. Some clubs don't have any dues. Some clubs you might have to, it's a large lot, or dues are higher because of equipment. And like, I know hockey is a relatively expensive club just because you have to pay for ice time, things like that. But if you have any questions, definitely reach out to the individual teams and they can give you better answers on those.
All right. And then we know obviously the fall looks a little interesting because of, coronavirus. I'm sure no one's heard of that yet. But what are some of the things that students can maybe know about joining? Can folks join in the middle of an academic year or in the middle of a semester, tryouts, all of that kind of stuff? Is there any information that any of y'all can share?
As far as the club volleyball team, we accept members just whenever. Like I said, a lot of people don't get the message earlier enough. So if you see something about us on our Instagram, in November, you come out in November. If you see it in February, you come in February. Whenever you see that we're doing stuff, you're more than welcome to come out at any time. It doesn't really matter. Yes, we do have evaluation/trials at the beginning of the year, but you don't have to make those to be on the team.
And for Special Olympics, you can really come whenever you have time, whenever you want. We do make teams like our first practice day, and we play every week after that. But you can always jump into a team and just join whenever you want. And we also have no dues. You don't have to pay anything to come out and play. So just come when you can. We would love to have you.
All right. So are there any other questions? Again, this video will be posted online on our website, and we'll also send all of our videos out to every single incoming student so they can watch these to learn a little bit more about getting involved. But do any of our panelists, y'all have anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Can't wait to see everyone out there in August.
Yeah, feel free to contact us at any point.
Yeah, if anyone has, specific questions regarding maybe a specific club who wasn't here today, you can email imsc@olemiss.edu, and I can help funnel you or direct you or get you in contact with the right person who would be able to answer any of your specific questions regarding that sport.
Definitely check out the forum if you're looking for specifics also.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you for the forum plug. We are always plugging the forum. But thank you all so much for joining us today. We are very excited about the fall and what it will look like, hopefully getting some things going again. And we really appreciate the time you've given to just help us with spreading the word about your organizations. So thank you all so much and have a great afternoon. Bye.